So I'm going to have a short video here of how to use TinkerCAD. So what we're doing is I've gone to the Google search and I'm going to type in TinkerCAD. Let's see what we get. So here we get brought to a TinkerCAD.com website. And as you see on the right-hand side, TinkerCAD belongs to Autodesk. And it was originally 3D, but they've expanded it to have other things, and that's what we're interested in. So let's click on the website here. And we go to the TinkerCAD splash page. And over in the top right, join now. It's very simple to do that. Doesn't cost any money. I've already joined, so I'm going to sign in. So give your email, and let's see, we should be able to do that fairly simply. Password. And bring us to the work area. So here is the TinkerCAD from Autodesk, and this is kind of a program for do-it-yourselfers, or what we call maker movement, where people like to tinker with things and so on. You see over here on the left-hand side, obviously that's me, my account, 3D designs. Now this is kind of where it started, and we're not really interested in 3D designs. We're interested in circuits. So I'm going to click on circuits. And you can see that there's some circuits already here down the bottom of the screen. But I'll go to create new circuit, bring us to the work area. So when I click on that, we come to a work screen, and it's blank. There's nothing in here right now. But over on the right-hand side, you see components. Matter of fact, basic components. There's two possibilities: basic components or all components. Then there's what they call starters, where they already have some circuits made. Let's not worry about that right now. Let's go back to basics. And if we look down, we see a resistor. Matter of fact, if we hover it over it, it becomes annotated. Here's an LED, potentiometer, push button, capacitor, slide switch, a couple batteries, a breadboard, which we'll talk about, an Arduino. Microcontroller, DC motors, a micro server, various things, sensors here, temperature sensor, a multimeter. So there are some basic components here. Now, one of them was a breadboard, a small breadboard. So I'm going to click on the breadboard and drag it over here. And this is usually how we make circuits on a breadboard. We have different terms for these things, proto boards. It turns out that there's some characteristics here you should be aware of. You might notice minus and plus. So in this horizontal row, it turns out that all these things are connected together. And if I connect a battery, a plus side of a battery to that row, I can tap off of that. Right up above it, I have the negative, and it turns out they're all connected together. And it's similar to down below here, where we have these two rows. Now, in the wiring area, you might notice as I scan across here that here's column number 4, and it turns out in column number 4, as I go up and down it, notice the green where they're all connected. So column number 4 here, they're all connected together. They are not connected to column number 3 or column number 5, nor are they connected to the columns down below. Here's another column 4. Notice up to the far left, it's A, B, C, D, E, where up above, column 4 was F through J. So it turns out that I can insert components in here, and we'll show you that in a second. Before I do that, let's just take and show you how I wire things up. I hover over this point and I click on it, and then I drag, and I go over here and I click on this, and I've got a wire. Turns out there's a green wire, so I might want to go up here, and since I've gone to the red or positive, let's make it a red wire. Or I might go over here, click on this and drag this up to the top here, and I've got another green wire, but I'll probably change to a black wire. So I have two wires now that are connected to the proto board, the breadboard. If I want to get rid of one of these wires, I click on it and I go over here to the trash can. That deletes it. I'll go over here to this one, back over to the trash can, top left, and gets rid of it. So let's go back over here to the parts bin, and I'll just get a resistor. So I click on this resistor, drag it out here, and lo and behold, I have a resistor. It turns out that this is a 1 k ohm resistor, but I can change that if I want. Here I can change the metric suffix to it, or prefix, I guess I'd say, for the ohms. So that's a k ohm resistor. I go over here, maybe I want to make it a 2 k ohm resistor. Now, as soon as I did that, I'll have to go back. Let's go back to the 1. You may notice, take a look at the resistor. It has a color code of brown, black, orange, or red rather right now. And as soon as I take and put a 2, that first band turns into a red, black, red, which is the color code for 2K. If I put a 3, it turns orange. If I put a 4, it turns yellow. If I put a 5, it turns green. A 6 is blue. 7 is, good question what it is. It's hard to make out. Let's put 8 in there. There's another color that's difficult to make out, and so on. We could blow these things up, by the way, take a closer look at them. But let's go back to the 1 k ohm. Now, if I drag that resistor over here and put it in a column, well, that doesn't make too much sense, because what happens is I'm in F and J, and that whole column number 20 there is all shorted together. So I've just shorted that resistor out. So that doesn't help me too much. Let's click on it and let's see if we can do something to it. Yeah, we can actually take, and while it's in the board, twist it around. That would work much better. Now I'm in column 18 and column 22 in looks like row H, and neither end of that resistor are touching one another, so it turns out that I haven't shorted the resistor. I can grab another resistor, bring that over here. I could twist it and put it in the correct orientation before I put it in the board. Then I could drag it, and let's drag it all the way over to here. And now what I've done is I've put 2 1 k ohm resistors in series. Notice that in column 18 here, it turns out that they are connected together. So let's take and do something like grabbing, our meter was way down the bottom here. Let's grab this multimeter and let's drag it out here. And right now it's measuring voltage. That doesn't make much sense to us because we have no, let's measure resistance. Let's wire it. We hover over this connection, and I'll go down to column 14. I've got to click on it when I get there. And again, let's take and change the color of the wire to say black. And then I'll go over here to this one, and I'm going to go over to column, is it 22? Click on it, and let's make it again a black wire. Not that it matters. Okay, and then I've made this circuit where I've got 2 1 k ohm resistors in series, and I've got an ohm meter to take, and let's go up here to the top, start the simulation. And lo and behold, what's it tell us? It tells us it's 2 k ohms, which is again what we should expect for 2 1 k ohm resistors in series. The total resistance is the sum of the individual resistors. So that's just a very short introduction to how you use TinkerCAD. Very easy to use. The graphical interface is kind of cool. Certainly the meter does not look like what a real volt ohm meter or DVM looks like, but it does the job. In the real lab, you would actually wire these circuits up, and you'd probably be very prone to miswiring things. Here, it turns out there's not much feedback about miswiring, other than you'll discover that you won't get the correct answer, obviously. So what you have to do is play with this. One unfortunate thing about this is that this is a cloud application, and therefore it turns out that I cannot just go and save my circuit. I can export my circuit and share my, well, if I export, I actually export a printed circuit board. If I share, it turns out that I can take and invite people to share it, and you know, I could share with email addresses and so forth. So if I ask you to take and, maybe share something, what you need to do is make it shareable, and we'll talk more about that. You also have a couple more videos to show you how to use TinkerCAD that are in the Blackboard website. But you can share it with me by giving me my email and then sending it to me so I can take a look at your work. Certainly as you do experiments in the lab, you want to take and, make your measurements, put them into your experiment and so forth. The circuit that you make or create stays around for a while. It doesn't stay forever, however. So as you saw when I first opened this up, there were some circuits already there. And this will name the circuits for you. This was called Terrific Garrus. Don't ask me why, but you can rename them if you want with the experiment, we'll say, which might make more sense. But nevertheless, this is just a short introduction to how you use TinkerCAD. You've got to get in there and play with it yourself, and you'll discover the learning curve is not very bad at all.